This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Florida. I'm here with the Artificial Intelligence and Business Analytics Group. Since 2005, they've been helping companies to understand and leverage the power of AI to improve their business operations and drive growth. I'm joined with Alberto, who is the founder and owner. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me in your show.
We're going to start off a little bit about yourself. You were formerly educated at the University of Michigan as well as the University of Puerto Rico. You have worked in various roles through the years as a global head of analytics for Hewlett-Packard, data solutions architect for Microsoft, and many, many more. Throughout the years, you basically have launched a group which now has over 300,000 members worldwide. Share with us a little bit how you evolved as an AI expert.
You know, that's very interesting. I first, when I started the group, the AIBA group, Artificial Intelligence and Business Analytics Group, I thought, we will have 300 people worldwide, the top, and now we have over 300,000. And when I start talking artificial intelligence 30 years ago, people literally laugh in my face. What else can I say? As I start solving problems for people, business problems, Medicare fraud and abuse, in healthcare for insurance companies, overpayments, underpayments, smart meters for Florida Power and Light, and 3M, with their large database, et cetera, the biggest on IBM at the time. When I started doing that, I realized that a gift that I had since I was a little kid, which is prediction, I have turned it into a profession. My father used to take me when I was 3 years old, 4 years old to the theater and to the movie theater, and I would start telling what was going to happen, and people would start screaming, "Tell that kid that we want to see the movie first, too." My father used to say he had not seen the movie, and that is basically, I have turned what I would say is a God-given ability into a profession. 30 years ago, people couldn't believe it. I think it have changed the perception.
Interesting. I mean, obviously, folks aren't laughing anymore. This is 30 years forward. I mean, you would have to be under a rock in 2023 not to hear the words like ChatGPT, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, AI. I mean, what is it about this year that kind of broke open the gates of AI to the public?
Wow, great question. There are two things. First is what is called transformative technology. Let's imagine you and I, have been going to the internet for a long time, and Google search, Bing, whatever. And we ask questions, and that over the years it have gotten better, but sometimes it just doesn't give us the output that we want. Transformative technology, what it have done is is able to understand what our intention is better, not just going one or two words or three sentences behind or before, but is taking in context your experience in the digital world more than you think. That's one. And the second one is generative AI. And generative AI actually is so simple when you come to understand it, is you and I are talking, and let's say that you and I have an issue and we want to resolve it. You have information, I have information, we got together and we come to a solution. But that's generative AI. It's two neural networks that have the same information, the same database, coming together to solve a common problem.
Wow, we're talking about a mastermind of great proportions. Although most of us are barely hearing about and learning that AI is everywhere, for you, this has really been years in the making. Has AI existed for some time, and why seemingly kind of under the radar until now?
Wow, Also a great question. See, 96% of the worldwide population have access to a cell phone. That does not mean that they own it. They have access to it, maybe a friend in third world countries or whatever. And so as long as you have had access to a cell phone, you have been dealing with artificial intelligence. It's that long. What happened is, it's in the background. You know, it's like the internet. We take it for granted. The cell phones, we take it for granted. And we're not worried about the technology behind it. But now, with the transformative technology and with the generative AI at the forefront, it has transformed it. And then we're talking about it.
Huh. I mean, I already see the AI term being used in marketing everywhere. I mean, soon it's probably going to be watered down like the word organic. I mean, what is AI in its truest, purest form? Can you define that kind of for my viewers?
That's the best question I think I have ever had. The best definition of AI is that we take I'm going to refer to as the library of the human experience that have been digitized, and it allows us to shorten the time that we solve a problem so that we can use that shorter time for creativity, which is where humans really thrive.
So AI is the master of efficiency. I mean, you work with a variety of companies helping them understand the power of AI. Why is it critical that these companies get on board and learn to leverage that power?
Wow. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I have my own belief in here. Historically, unfortunately, sometimes greed, power, is what has driven innovation. But in the AI revolution, we have a historical opportunity to change that to collaboration, to dialogue, to creativity, to inclusivity. And it is important that companies understand this because they need to understand what will be the future for my children, my grandchildren, if I don't start focusing in improving society as a whole better.
I mean, you talk about AI has kind of always been around in the background working. Can you kind of give some brief examples for the viewers of how AI can improve business operations and even help drive growth for companies that you've seen for yourself?
Well, the first time that I remember, it was so many years ago, about 18, 20 years ago, in the healthcare industry, was Medicare. They were using statistical techniques to try to flesh out fraud and abuse. And they were doing it one by one. They would take one provider, one hospital, one doctor, whatever it is, and they would run some statistical tests. But they were not using the power of all the data that you have accumulated among different providers, among different states, for many years, and put it all together to really flesh out where the fraud and abuse in Medicare, in that case, which is in the billions of dollars. And I remember designing the first system many years ago, and it came that there were billions of dollars. And today, over 20 years later, sometimes I'm looking at the news and I'm seeing providers that I identified 20, 30 years ago that are being brought up to face the music. I'm never going to forget, there was a podiatrist in upper New York State that was cutting the toenails of double amputees.
Wow. So those strategies that were created years ago are still relevant today. I mean, you have a deep understanding of the latest AI technologies and how they can be applied in a variety of industries. What are some of the industries that you see AI helping? And can it pretty much help any company out there across the board?
any company, but at the top is going to be the healthcare companies. AI can do so much to for the diagnosis, treatment of from cancer to neurological diseases like Alzheimer's disease, etc. And then on the second level, really, what you have is the financial companies. The financial companies have been using AI for a long time, as well as the healthcare industry. But see, the financial industry have something that most people don't realize is they are in the money business. And people who need access to capital so that they can develop ideas. Anybody can develop an idea. Your children, your grandchildren can develop ideas, and we all know that. And now we have a repository of that knowledge that you can mix with the people who have the access to capital to quickly test theories, whether they work or not.
I wonder what Napoleon Hill would think when he was writing about the mastermind years ago. This is like the ultimate mastermind. I mean, you were a thought leader in the AI community. You've shared your expertise through articles, social media posts, public speaking, and now here on TV. Do you hope to shape the way that organizations think about and approach the use of AI in their operations?
That's my goal. that you described, you actually asked what is my goal, and that is my goal. My goal is to move from a society, and I know this is a dream pipe for a lot of people, but a society that is moved by greed, power, and just capital, move it into something more that like dialogue, inclusivity. This is so important that we communicate and that we use AI to understand each other and try to make life better for everybody. Is it a pipe dream? Does history is against that? Yeah, I know, but that's my goal.
I can see you're very passionate about that goal. Speaking of how we think about AI, most of us are afraid of what we don't know or understand, or we fear what we think we know about AI. What do you hope our thinking about AI will end up being?
You have done your research very well. First, I salute you from a professional to another. The main thing that people fear is exactly what you say, because they don't know. And what they need to understand is that AI is a mirror of the intent of the user. It's a mirror of the intent of the user. If you have good intentions, even if unintended consequences follow because you did not think it through, that's okay. What I am more concerned are the people who have bad intentions, which we see nowadays in the new emails with misinformation and disinformation. That worries me more than just having people try without fully understanding. So that's my main concern, the people who intentionally misuse this technology.
You are not only an AI expert, but you're also a business strategist utilizing business analytics. Before we let you go, kind of summarize, what is business analytics for the viewers?
I'm going to give you an example, a real example that I did for a power and light company in Florida, Power and Light, many years ago. They wanted to be more efficient in the way that they will send their maintenance crews. That's when, at the beginning of the smart meter, and they wanted to put smart meters on all their customers, residential and commercial. The way it used to work is, you know how it is. You have a problem with your meter in your house, you pick up the phone, you call your power company, and then you get on the list. First call, first come, first serve. But that's not the most efficient way, specifically when you are training these people that you spend $100,000 in training, believe it or not. So what we did is we took all those calls over a period of 2 years, we cleaned up that data, and then we came up with a way to predict when a smart meter was going to go down before it went down. And that alone saved that company $100 million a year. I mean, straightforward. And so what can companies do? They can do it to save money, but they can also do it to increase their profit. And as long as they have what I call a good intent. See, if your intention is, I'm just going to make money, well, it's going to help you do that. But you know something, for some reason that I don't understand, it gives you a little bit more. And the first time I realized that, this was many years ago, and I said, this data is telling me something more. And is what is happening is mirroring the intent of the user.
So some serious power in business analytics. I mean, your strategies help many industries, but is healthcare still a primary? I mean, are healthcare companies still living in one of the most threatening environments where costs are increasing at a higher rate than inflation rates? And is this still an industry where much of your focus is?
Well, see, healthcare, if you go to the provider level, and I'm talking the physician level, they always start because they want to do good. Most of them, that's true. They want to do good. They have a good intent. Once they get into the business of healthcare, as we all know, there is a difference between practicing medicine and being in the business of healthcare, like in the business of another thing. The question is not whether it's business. The question is, again, is you're mirroring the intent. Can you keep, as a physician, as a provider, can you keep that innocence or naivete where you started to practice medicine and wanted to practice medicine? Could you just still hold a little bit to it and try to do better for the rest of the world?
So obviously the oath of the healthcare provider versus the business plan sometimes don't coincide, and that's where the intent comes in. I'm going to have you leave us with something to think about. Hopefully we won't go over the head of the viewers. Your theory is that we could eliminate human bias in artificial intelligence. An AI methodology that would be unbiased against human prejudices. What does that look like, and how do we get there?
Wow. The best example, and again, I just, as a professional to another, I salute you. I recognize your professionalism. You have prepared. The main thing is, you have children, you told me, and, you take them to the keys, and it's in the morning. You have never been there, but imagine yourself, you're predicting. You go, it's a beautiful morning, and your kids are out, and they are excited. And you go outside, and you feel good. What is feeling good? It's a vibration. How would you describe an increase in temperature in your body, an increase in your blood pressure? It's a feeling, and a feeling is a vibration at the nanoscale that traduces into a bigger scale. That's how I will explain it. If we can measure those vibrations at the nanoscale, we can then move them into the bigger world. And then once you understand yourself, and you understand other, and you understand those vibrations, I think it's going to bring a new manner of communication.
Wow. That is a killer explanation. I even understood that. Kind of got me excited thinking about it. I mean, your contributions continue to shape the way that we all think about and approach the use of AI. Your LinkedIn group with over 300,000 has to do with advancement of AI and quantum technology. With years of experience, Alberto, you could say, I was AI before AI was cool. Is this rewarding and exciting time for you?
You know how I said the same thing that you just said right now? I am living in my future right now.
That is exactly right. You've been waiting for this moment. You've been waiting for this year. I mean, these are things that people laughed about a couple decades ago, and they are now seeing them come to pass. That's totally exciting. It's been an honor to introduce you. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is his contact information. You can connect with him on LinkedIn, where he has over 11,000 personal followers. You can also join his group on LinkedIn of over 300,000 other members who want to stay on top of this AI revolution. Once again, that is Artificial Intelligence and Business Analytics Group, helping you understand and leverage the power of AI. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.